Hey, Pretty Girl Club. So today I'm going to be answering the question, why do people hate beautiful women? Number one is because of rivalry. In a lot of cases, if you are considered the pretty girl, or even if you don't consider yourself pretty, but the person who's hating on you considers you to be prettier than them, it brings out their insecurities because a lot of people won't admit that being beautiful actually requires maintenance. It requires discipline. It requires a workout routine if you want to stay in shape, or a hair care routine, or even a hair styling routine, even if your hair has extensions in it. So, a lot of people don't want to admit that beauty comes with maintenance. And you do have to practice consistency in your beauty hobbies if you want to maximize your pretty privilege to the best of your ability. And so, one thing that beauty will do is it will actually trigger laziness insecurities in others. So, a lot of people don't like to admit that they're lazy, but as soon as they see a beautiful, leveled up woman, they start to look at themselves and say, oh shit, I'm really lazy with my hair care routine. Oh my God, I'm so lazy with my body care. Oh wow, I've been really lazy with my workouts. And so that is something that can actually trigger a person into disliking you or not wanting to be around you. It's because your beauty reminds them of all of the areas in their life where they are not leveled up. And obviously, you can't help this. This isn't your fault that that person just didn't take care of themselves. But that is something that no one talks about. I wonder why no one talks about this on YouTube. Well, actually, I know why. It's because if you're pretty, you're not allowed to have any problems. And that brings me to the second point, which is a lot of people hate beautiful women because they associate your beauty with living this lifestyle of having no problems whatsoever. You don't have any relationship problems, no friendship problems, you have no self-esteem problems, you don't have any problems at all. And because beauty is so glorified in our society, a lot of people will treat a pretty girl like a celebrity. So think about how you treat celebrities. You admire them from a distance, but at the same time, you may not know very much about them. There's a lot of mystery when it comes to celebrities because you may not know the ins and outs of their beauty routine, but at the same time, you're kind of enthralled by them. And you also have people who heavily scrutinize them, and they will take pictures of their cellulite, or they'll take screenshots showing you how ugly this person looks or showing you that they got a bad plastic surgery. And so being a pretty girl is very similar to being a celebrity on a very, very small scale. So maybe you're the pretty girl at work. Maybe you are the pretty girl in your yoga class. Maybe you're the pretty girl in your neighborhood. You may experience people having this admiration on one hand, but then also having this sense of hatred or rivalry on another hand. And this is why you see people who will nitpick at you if you're pretty. They will nitpick at your lip fillers or, whatever you got done that was fake. That's another stereotype I've noticed that a lot of pretty women experience. If you are perceived as being a pretty girl, people have a tendency to call you fake, or they will try to call out your beauty enhancements. They'll be like, oh, she's fake. Look at her lip fillers. Oh, she's fake. She got a boob job. Oh, she got liposuction. She's wearing makeup. She's not naturally pretty. So they have a tendency to call you fake because our society stereotypes beauty with fakeness. I mean, if you think about like Barbie dolls and perfectionism and hyperfemininity, oftentimes in order to achieve that sort of beauty, or when it comes to the marketing of those things, it is promoted with fakeness, like beauty enhancements and stuff. And so I've noticed that people have a tendency to stereotype pretty women as being fake. So whether they're saying it about your personality or whether they're saying it about your beauty. And when it comes to people calling you fake, as in your personality is fake, usually the reason they're saying that is because they cannot fathom that you can be beautiful on the outside and also be beautiful on the inside. So you being a nice person, oh no, that can't be true. That can't be real. You can't be pretty and have a beautiful personality. Oh no, you have to be fake. So this is why a lot of pretty girls, even if they're being genuine and nice, people will still call them fake. Even if they're being charitable, you're still fake. If you're helping someone out, you still must be fake. And this is because they are stereotyping you. There's this stereotype that the pretty girl is kind of like this mean girl or more of this narcissistic type. This is also why you see a lot of men who hate beautiful women, because they associate beauty with narcissism. They associate a beautiful woman with, someone who's just constantly soaking up all this praise. And oftentimes people are doing that because they themselves have not experienced what it's like to feel beautiful or to be perceived as beautiful by the people in their community. And so, because of that, they have no choice but to really just project onto you. Oftentimes, the people who project onto you the most are the people who know the least about you. But another reason why people hate beautiful women is because of power dynamics. Beauty is a form of social power. And if you look at what everybody's chasing in society, if you look at the way that they market towards men, they're constantly marketing beautiful women or getting rich so you can attract a beautiful woman or birthing these beautiful babies. You know, the first thing that people say to compliment a newborn baby is that's a beautiful baby. So beauty is very much pedestalized in the society that we live in. I think that this could be a good or a bad thing, but it's like, even if you don't see yourself as the most beautiful person in the world, if other people perceive you as being pretty or being prettier than them, it reminds them of these power dynamics that we have in society where society rewards beauty. We all know that pretty privilege is real. It's not fair that a lot of people who are perceived as attractive get special treatment, whether it's getting a free drink or getting into something for free, maybe getting recruited for modeling or something, or having an easier time receiving compliments or something. But this social power that your beauty carries, it is going to be intimidating to low status people or to people who think that they have a low status. So this is why you get those incels online where they're like, oh, I can't have her. Oh, well, fuck her. She's not that cute anyway. Oh, well, guess what? She's only a 6. She's not a 10 out of 10. She's just a 6. And so they're saying these things because they're trying to level the playing field. They're trying to even out the playing field. They don't like the fact that your beauty gives you social power. And so they're trying to take away some of that power by attempting to use another beautiful woman to humble you. Have you ever noticed that whenever someone wants to humble a beautiful woman, they have to try to use another beautiful woman to humble her? They can't humble her just in everyday life. They know that they can't humble her themselves because they don't have as much social status or social power to do so. And so what they'll try to do is they'll say, well, you're just a 6 out of 10. She's a 7 out of 10. She's an 8 out of 10. She's a 9 out of 10. And they try to put you on this beauty hierarchy in an attempt to humble you. This is all based on power dynamics. Anybody who studies sociology knows that social power and social status are something that a lot of people get jealous of, and beauty is a form of social power and social status. That is something that you can't deny. And so if a person can't deny your social status, they will try to deny your beauty. They'll try to say, well, you're still not as pretty as somebody else. But everybody knows that that's not how social status works. If you're a millionaire, you don't go up to a millionaire and say, oh, well, you're still not a billionaire, so fuck you. No, you're still going to reap the benefits of being wealthy, even if you're not the wealthiest person in the world. But one of the reasons people hate beautiful women is because they hate the social power and they hate the extra attention that woman's beauty is going to get her. They hate the fact that you are receiving validation. They don't like the fact that when you go to the grocery store that the cashier is complimenting you on your dress. They don't like the fact that people are complimenting your hair texture. They're complimenting your complexion. They're saying that you have nice, beautiful, long eyelashes. People don't like that if they feel like they are invisible. And so your social power and your ability to attract attention effortlessly, it reminds that person of how invisible they are. And obviously that's not your fault, but for some people who are not good at making themselves visible, they have what I call invisibility syndrome. So it's when you've spent your whole life kind of living in the background, you're kind of living on the sidelines of your own life. You've never gone out and leveled up for yourself. I've noticed a lot of men are like this. A lot of women can be this way too. But you know those men who feel like, oh, she never chooses the nice guy. She never chooses the short guy. She never chooses the fat guy. So these are the guys who have suffered from being invisible their whole lives. And so when they see your beauty, beauty is obviously very visible and it attracts attention, whether it's on social media or in real life. You're naturally going to be attracting compliments and stuff like that. And so people who have that invisibility complex, they are going to get upset because your attractiveness reminds them of how invisible they are. And that's not something you can control, but that's one of the many reasons why some people, men or women, literally hate beautiful women. Another reason why people hate beautiful women is because you remind them of what they once were, or you remind them of what they could have been. So these are often the older, bitter people who maybe they didn't take care of themselves, or maybe these are the men and women who let themselves go. Maybe these are your siblings or people who have the same phenotype as you, but you have really taken care of yourself and you have practiced your beauty hobbies. You have shown self-love by caring for your skin, caring for your hair. And so your beauty is a trigger because it reminds that person of what they could have been. It reminds that man of what he could have had and what he didn't want to work to obtain. And so that's another reason why some people hate beautiful women. Another reason why people may hate you because of your beauty is because beauty and pretty privilege reminds people that life is not fair. And so you going through the world just effortlessly pretty or, having not a care in the world, that reminds people that this society that we live in is very unfair and that people will give you a sense of status because of the way you were born or the way your body is shaped. Maybe you have an hourglass shape. Maybe you happen to have a six-pack or something. So it reminds people that life is unfair. And so they're kind of getting mad at the world at that point. They're getting mad at the world. They're mad at the way that society is set up. And so sometimes you are really just a casualty and they just kind of residually lash out that anger onto you because they're really mad at the way the world puts beauty on a pedestal. But again, that's not your fault. But a lot of people, they get upset. Another reason that your beauty could cause others to hate you is because some people are scared of their own beauty, or they are scared and intimidated by beauty in general. So these are the types of people who maybe they've always wanted to go to the gym, but they're intimidated by the gym. So they never work out and they just stay fat. And then they get mad at you for being skinny and confident because they feel like your existence is reminding them of what they don't have the courage to seek after. You know those people who say things like, oh, beauty doesn't matter, it's not important. Oh, you guys are all shallow, like I'm holier than thou because I don't care about being skinny. I don't care about looking cute. I don't care about my hair or my makeup. I don't need other people's validation. First of all, that is actually false. Every human being needs validation and interaction with other human beings in order to remain mentally healthy. This is why in the prison system, when you have committed a really bad crime, what they do is they actually put you in solitary confinement, which is where you don't have any human interaction whatsoever, because they know that from a psychological standpoint, that a human who has no source of validation and no source of human connection at all will go mentally insane. And so those people who have that mindset of, I don't need anybody's validation, I don't need other people to compliment me, I don't want to be around people anyway, fuck everybody, fuck this society, I'm antisocial, I don't like the world that we live in, I'm better than everybody here. Those types of people, yeah, they're actually just afraid to admit to themselves that they actually do want to be loved or valued or accepted, or they want to feel pretty, or they want to feel beautiful. But there are some people who have been shamed from feeling beautiful. Maybe they came from a religious background. I know that I came from a very religious background too, where people shame beauty because they're afraid of the power that beauty carries. And so they will call women Jezebels for simply being pretty, or they will call you fast when you're a little girl. They'll call that woman fast, or they will say that you're a slut when you're not. You're just literally wearing red lipstick. And so there are some people who are literally scared of the power and the seduction that beauty holds. And so your beauty reminds that person that they didn't have the courage to pursue their own version of beauty. It actually takes courage to be beautiful. It takes courage to stay beautiful. It takes courage to walk in this world with your head held high and to not care about what others think of your beauty. That actually takes a lot of courage, and it takes a lot of resilience that a lot of beautiful women don't get credit for. It takes a lot of guts to walk around in a bikini with confidence, or walk around with your makeup done and you don't care what people say, or to show off your body shape and not be afraid of being called slutty or attention seeking. There is actually a certain level of courage that comes with meeting your own beauty standard and being free and confident in your beauty. And some people are very intimidated by the confidence that comes with beauty. And so this is why a lot of pretty women will have people who will specifically go out of their way to attack your confidence. And this is very common in the workplace. People will try to attack what you're doing at your job, because they know they can't call you ugly. They know that they can't attack your beauty, so they will attack everything else. They'll attack your sexuality by saying you're a slut or you're sleeping with people. Meanwhile, the same people that attack you for sleeping with someone are the same people who are begging for you to sleep with them. So it's like you're a slut if you sleep with everybody else, but you're not a slut if you sleep with him. But that's one of the other reasons people hate beautiful women. It's because of that power that comes with it, and also because of the confidence that comes with it. You are triggering those other people who didn't have the courage or the confidence to wear the halter top. They didn't have the courage to learn how to do their makeup. They didn't have the courage to learn how to do their hair and mess up a couple of times before they got it right. And so when they see you having that courage and having the confidence to wear your hair however you want, wear your makeup however, to wear whatever clothes you want, that's triggering because you are reminding that person of their own fears. You are reminding that person that they don't have the courage to rock those high heels. They don't have the courage to wear high heels at work. They don't have the courage to wear red lipstick to go on a walk around the town. They don't have the courage to do that because they're too scared of what people think of them. So when they see you and you're not scared of being beautiful and people thinking you're doing too much, they will be triggered by that. And actually, that's one of the main gaslighting phrases people will use against you. They'll say you're doing too much, or you're just trying to show off. You're just trying to get attention by wearing that red dress. And it's like, okay, what's wrong with getting attention? The same people who get mad at you getting attention would gladly trade places with you if they could. The same people who get mad at you having pretty privilege would gladly trade privileges with you if they could. Another one of the reasons that people hate beautiful women is because your insults are perceived as more powerful. When you speak, people are more likely to listen to you because you're naturally going to draw attention to yourself. I mean, this only works though if you're around people who are not jealous of you or people who are attracted to you or they find you attractive. But generally speaking, people get mad because of that social power dynamic. So let's say that somebody calls you ugly. Notice how if you're the pretty girl, other people can call you ugly, they can call you fake, they can call out your eyelashes, your nail polish is messed up. They can call out every single flaw, but if you respond back and say, hey, well, you're fat, or hey, well, you look ugly, then suddenly all hell breaks loose because you are in the position of power and they know it. And so that's why if they call you ugly, it rolls off your back, but if you call them ugly in return, then of course they're going to start crying and their whole self-esteem is crushed. That's because deep down inside, that person puts you on a pedestal and they know that and they don't like that about themselves. They don't want to admit to themselves, damn, I actually put her on a pedestal because she's really pretty. I see this happening a lot with men where, they will internally pedestalize women, but then of course externally they want to pretend like they are not attracted to you. They want to pretend like, oh, you're just a 6 out of 10. Meanwhile, these guys are jacking off to 6 out of 10s every single night on their phone when they go look at porn. They'll say, oh, well, you're not even that cute. You're not pretty. Meanwhile, their celebrity crush has your same phenotype, your same ethnic background, your same body type. But of course, they don't want to admit to themselves that they place you on a higher pedestal than them. They associate you with having more power and social status than them. Another reason that some people hate beautiful women is because you are breaking stereotypes. There are people who believe that if you're a dark-skinned black woman, you can't be beautiful. Or if you're a woman of color, you're not supposed to be beautiful. You're not supposed to be beautiful and plus size. You're not supposed to be beautiful and have no boobs and no ass. Oh no, you can only be beautiful in one way. And so if you start breaking stereotypes and you actually are undeniably beautiful and you don't meet that person's internal stereotype of what beauty is, then that angers them because they feel like, hey, wait a minute, that's not fair. If I don't get to be beautiful, she doesn't get to be beautiful. If I don't think women of color are beautiful, this woman of color over here, I'm not going to allow her to be beautiful. And people are doing this because they have a scarcity mindset when it comes to beauty. They believe that there is only one type of beauty and that if you don't meet that exact type of beauty, then you're not allowed to be beautiful. So then they get enraged when they see that you are still experiencing pretty privilege, or when they see that you still have confidence, or that you are not threatened by other beautiful women. Another reason that some people hate beauty is because they have that mindset of there can only be one. So this is more so based on rivalry. These are the people where it's like, no, there can only be one pretty girl in the friend group. There can only be one pretty girl in the office. There can only be one pretty girl in the family. There can only be one pretty sister. So they have this mindset of two women can't be beautiful at the same time. Two women cannot be equally beautiful at the same time. They have a mindset of, no, only I want to be the pretty one. And then if anybody else is perceived as pretty, I am going to start mistreating that woman. I'm going to lash out on that woman. I'm going to try to sabotage that woman. And this all comes from that sense of rivalry. Another reason why people hate beautiful women is because of competitiveness. There are some men who literally compete with women. They are literally jealous of women. A lot of men, they either want a woman or they're gay and want to be a woman. So, whether a guy is gay or straight, he knows the value and the power of having a beautiful woman or being a beautiful woman. Anytime a guy is fantasizing about who he's going to sleep with or who he's going to date or whatever, he is never fantasizing about a woman who is as hideous as possible or as disgusting as possible. No, he is fantasizing about a woman who he perceives as beautiful. Same thing goes with even guys who are in the LGBT community and they want to become more feminine. Even those men are seeking after a sense of beauty. And so you cannot deny the power of being a beautiful feminine woman. There are some women who think that your beauty is taking away from theirs. And so that is what makes them enraged because they feel like if you are celebrating your beauty, then you are saying that they are ugly. There really are people who think that way. There are people who feel like, hey, if you look different than me and you think you're beautiful, it means that you think I'm ugly. So once again, it's that scarcity mindset. It's that mindset of there can only be one. And so if you are celebrating yourself as a beautiful princess, then they become immediately enraged by that. Another reason some people hate beautiful women is because they see beauty as a competition and they feel like they can't keep up with you. So let's say you're really good at doing all these different hairstyles at work. One day your hair is curly, the next day it's straight, then it's an afro, then it's blonde, then it's red. They can't keep up. And they're getting upset because they are spinning their wheels trying to compete with you because they have this hierarchy mindset of beauty as a competition and everywhere I go it's a pageant. I have to try to be prettier than everybody else. So instead of focusing on themselves, they're very externally focused. So they're focused on what is the pretty girl doing? What is she wearing? Oh my God, she was wearing a designer bag. Okay, now I have to try to keep up. Oh, she likes this guy. Okay, now I have to try to go sleep with that guy. So they have this competitive mindset and that's what makes them enraged because they feel like they have to be territorial over their social status. They have this mindset of two people can't be pretty at the same time. If you're pretty and I'm pretty, then it means that we have to be rivals. We have to go against each other. I have to try to compete with you. So people get mad when they can't keep up, especially if you're one of those girls who has a fluid type of beauty, meaning you like to do a lot of different makeup looks, lots of different hairstyles and hair colors. You like to do lots of different fashion looks. They're going to get very frustrated because their beauty standard is externally focused. They're focusing their own beauty on how does Sarah look at work. Okay, Sarah was wearing a pink shirt yesterday. Okay, let me try to wear a better pink shirt. So they're having this mindset of, I have to try to keep up with the next person. It's that competitive mindset. Another reason that some people hate beautiful women is because of misogyny and male-centeredness. These are normally the people who are obsessed with like catching a man or like chasing rich men, chasing white men, chasing the athlete, chasing the jock, chasing the popular guy. So a lot of their identity and their self-image revolves around chasing a man. You guys know my perspective on this. I don't care what women do with a guy as long as they're not making that guy the center of their entire lives. I've had that phase myself, and I can tell you that that's not a very good place to be in because the more male-centered you are, the more likely you are to see other women as your rivals because everything is all revolving around, oh, let me compete for a man. Let me compete to get his attention. Oh, I have to try to outdress this girl at the bar. Oh, this girl looks cuter than me. She has on a cuter outfit than me. Okay, now I'm going to try to throw a drink on that girl so that she no longer looks cute. So it's this very toxic cycle that is all focused around getting the male gaze or like it's too centered around the male gaze. And so one of the ways you can combat that is by going on a journey of decentering men. No matter what relationship status you're in, I actually believe that any woman of any relationship status can go on a journey of not centering their life around their relationship. Another reason that people hate beautiful women is because of injustice. These are the people that have a hard time accepting the fact that life is not fair, that the world we live in is not a just world, and that sometimes people are going to be either born with unfair advantages, or maybe they are wealthy and they can purchase the beauty that they want. And so usually these are the people who need the help of a therapist. These are people who are literally mad because they see the social benefits that come from beauty. They see that maybe that woman gets treated better, or maybe she's an influencer now, maybe she's a model now, and they don't like the fact that society is set up in a way that's unfair. But this is the society that they live in. And so they're going to find themselves constantly in this cycle of anger at the state of the world when they cannot control how other people perceive you. And so one of the ways that they lash out is by trying to just sabotage the pretty girl, or they'll just be mean to every pretty girl they come across, or they will try to exclude that girl from the group. They will get mad if you become friends with their friends. I know that I've had this happen to me before, where maybe there's a girl who she gets jealous if you become friends with her best friend. Now she's mad because she feels like, oh, hell no, you can't be prettier than me and also steal my best friend away from me. Oh, no, I've got to exclude you from the friend group. Oh, you can't be pretty and then receive a compliment in my presence. Oh, no, now I'm super pissed at you. So these are the people who get mad because they are witnessing the fact that the world is not fair. Another reason that people hate beautiful women is due to plain old jealousy. A lot of people hate the excessive attention that comes with beauty. I've even seen some women who are jealous of girls who get gossiped about in a negative way. I've seen girls get mad that all the boys are talking about Sarah and calling her a slut, but they're still jealous because at least Sarah is being talked about, even if it's negative. You know those people who feel like negative attention is still attention? And don't get me wrong, I mean, I understand where those people are coming from, but these people, they tend to be jealous of the excessive attention that the pretty girl gets. They get mad that people are spending their time talking about you and they're not spending their time talking about her. So once again, it goes back to kind of that invisibility syndrome. You know, you feel like you're the invisible girl. You feel like the plain Jane. It's kind of like that plain Jane syndrome where she's mad that she might be in the presence of her guy friends or something, and maybe they're talking about you. Even if they're talking shit about you, she's still mad that you're a topic of conversation. And my mindset about this is, if you're going to be mad about beauty, don't be mad at beautiful women. Be mad at the men who established this system and made it the way it was. If men didn't exist, beauty standards wouldn't exist. If men didn't exist, colorism, texturism, featureism, and racism wouldn't exist. If men didn't exist, capitalism wouldn't exist. So instead of getting mad at the pretty girl, a lot of people need to redirect that energy to the people who actually created the system. Another reason that some people hate beautiful women is because they can't have you. So these are usually low status men who know that they can't afford you. They know that they cannot keep you. They know that they can't hold your attention. And so they feel left behind. They feel left behind in terms of social status and power. This is why men get really mad and they call out when older women have plastic surgeries or get a facelift, or they are still able to attract a man, or they're still able to attract the princess treatment. A lot of men get very jealous of this because they know that they can't give a woman that type of treatment. And so because they don't know how to treat a woman like a princess, or they don't have the money to, then they just get pissed off at the woman in general. And they try to guilt trip her and say, oh, well, you're a gold digger. Meanwhile, that man is going to work every day so that he can make some gold. Another reason why some people hate beautiful women is because beautiful women know that they're beautiful. There's nothing that pisses off an insecure person more than a woman who is both beautiful and also confident, and she does not hold back, and she loves herself, and she takes care of herself. She loves herself out loud. She is living this carefree lifestyle. That makes people very upset because the confidence on top of the beauty, that's just too many positive qualities. That's literally going to make their brain short circuit. You've got too many threatening qualities. You're not allowed to be beautiful and confident. If you're beautiful, you have to try to pretend like you don't see your own beauty. You have to try to act like you're not that pretty. I've noticed that people will try to pressure you into downplaying your beauty or speaking down on yourself like, oh, I'm not that pretty. Oh, I'm just average. Oh, this other girl's way prettier than me. I don't deserve that. A lot of people will try to guilt you because they don't want you to be confident. They don't want you to experience the confidence and the freedom that can come with embracing your beauty. Another reason that people hate beautiful women is because of entitlement. A lot of men, they don't like it when women take back the power and control over their own bodies. Even with that Bumble ad, they tried to shame beautiful women for not being on the app or choosing not to sleep with these crazy guys. And so they tried to advertise to these beautiful women. And notice how they put attractive women on the ads and stuff. So they're trying to advertise to women who look like those women on the billboards that, hey, you shouldn't be celibate. And this is due to the entitlement. A lot of the men who hate beautiful women, they don't like those women because those women won't sleep with them. So they will say things like, oh, why are you trying to show yourself in a bikini? Why are you wearing a crop top? Why are you wearing a swimsuit? You're just teasing me. You're just being a tease. And they're making it as if you're somehow obligated to sleep with them, or like if you're beautiful, then they're entitled to your beauty. And that's another thing. A lot of people get mad and they hate beautiful women because they cannot control what you do with your beauty. They can't control how much you flaunt your beauty. I've actually seen a lot of cases where mothers get jealous of their own daughters, or family members, sisters. They get jealous as their daughters grow older and come of age because that mother can no longer control what that woman does with her body. She can no longer control what her daughter does with her beauty. So oftentimes you'll get these jealous mothers or family members or churchgoers who will try to shame you, and they'll accuse you of being slutty, or they will try to control what you do with your beauty. They want to control your sexuality. They want to control what you're doing with your body. They want to shame you if you're having sex, but then they want to call you a tease or a prude for not having sex. And so there are double standards everywhere. Another thing that I've noticed is that a lot of people are literally jealous of your sex life, or they are jealous of the type of sex life that they think you have. So usually these are from people who are involuntarily celibate. These are people who, I guess, they have bad sex lives, or they perceive themselves as having a bad sex life, or I don't know, maybe that's their dream, is to be sexually desirable. So they're jealous of the fact that you are sexually desirable. And so because they're jealous of your sex life, they will become obsessed with it. And so they'll start calling you sluts, and they'll start trying to expose you like, oh, she slept with this guy, or she fucked that guy, or she's doing this with her body. And it's because of that jealousy. It's that deep-rooted jealousy. Deep down inside, that person themselves wishes that they could be desirable enough to sleep with who they want or not sleep with who they want, or they will shame you for sleeping with another guy that's not him. Another reason why some people hate beautiful women is because people think that pretty women are out of their league. For some men, they know that you're out of their league, and so they get pissed about it, and they know that you would never give him a chance. And then for some women, they feel like you are out of their league socially, and they feel like, hey, in real life, outside of work, she would never be friends with me, so fuck her. I'm going to make her work life hell, or I'm going to make her life a living hell. And so some people, they get mad because they feel like you are socially above them. And so this is where you get those basic Bettys at work who get pleasure in humiliating the pretty girl. They get pleasure in humiliating you in the office or calling you out at the board meeting. They get pleasure in that because they feel like as a manager at work, that's the only place in their life that they have any sort of social power. Outside of that office, they're irrelevant. Outside of that office, no one gives a fuck about them. Outside of that office, they have nothing going for themselves. This is why they get mad, or they try to stir you up, and they want you to become emotionally unstable because they know that they can't take away from your physical beauty. So they're hoping that they can stress you out so that hopefully you can stop taking care of your beauty, or hopefully you can not enjoy the spoils of being a beautiful girl and being carefree. They want to try to make you emotionally ugly. They want you to have no confidence. They want you to be emotionally downtrodden because they're hoping that by making you feel beaten down, that it will cause you to have this inferiority complex and not be able to enjoy your own beauty. Another reason that people don't like beautiful women is because it's difficult to control you when you are both beautiful and confident. And so usually people are very intimidated by the things they can't control. They're intimidated by socially powerful people that are not under their control. So once again, this goes back to jealous mothers who get mad at their daughters as that daughter becomes old enough to make her own decisions, or the guys who get mad at the pretty girl for breaking up with him and dumping him, kicking him to the curb. He's mad because now he no longer has that control over you. And I've noticed that for a lot of people, they want to have the power to give or take away the title of being beautiful. So this is why you have men who will say, you're not a 10, you're just a 6. It's because he knows that he has no real social power over you. So he's going to try to make himself feel powerful by saying, oh no, you're not that pretty. You're not as pretty as somebody else. It's because deep down inside, people who don't feel beautiful within themselves, they want to try to have the power to give or take away your beauty. So then they'll try to convince you, oh no, actually you're ugly. Oh, your lashes look fucked up. Oh, your body is not cute. You're too skinny. Oh, you're a person of color. Oh, you're dark skinned. You're not pretty. You're not as pretty as somebody who's whiter than you. So they'll try to do all these things to try to give or take away your beauty because they feel powerless. If you're a woman who is beautiful and you know you're beautiful, or if you think you're beautiful and that person thinks that you are not beautiful, they are mad at your confidence. They're mad at the fact that you think you're beautiful. They're like, how dare you think you're beautiful without my approval? How dare you think highly of yourself without getting my permission? How dare you think you're a 10? I think you're a 6. You don't have the right to walk around like you're a 10. How dare you be overweight or black or have short hair or be super skinny and still think you're beautiful? I can't control that, so now I'm mad. I am angry at your confidence. I'm angry at the fact that you didn't allow outside sources to determine how beautiful you are. So now I'm going to do everything in my power to try to make you feel ugly. So that goes back to people wanting to control your self-perception. They have this mindset that as beautiful women, we are not supposed to think that we are beautiful until other people tell us we're beautiful. And it's like, no, I get to have control over what I think of myself. That's why it's called self-esteem. That's why it's called self-image. I get to control what I think of my self-image. And so people get mad when you take back your power. Another reason that people hate beautiful women is because people want you to accept as little as possible from them and be grateful for it. So people want to be able to give you the bare minimum. Some people want to be able to disrespect you. They want to be able to walk all over you, and they get mad when you are beautiful and you know you're beautiful, and they also get mad when you have boundaries and when you require other people to treat you how you treat yourself. So that's another reason people get enraged. They get enraged because they know they can't cross your boundaries. They know that they can't play with you like that. They know that they can't talk shit about your ethnicity like that. They know that they can't talk shit about how you look and then you just take it or you just accept it. So that makes people get upset because, once again, you're taking away that person's power because you are deciding, hey, I get to have self-esteem, not esteem just from other people. Another reason is that people want to be the source of your self-esteem. Have you ever noticed that? Random incels online, he wants to be the source of your self-esteem. Your mom, she wants to be the source of your self-esteem. Your boyfriend wants to be the source of your self-esteem. Your coworkers, people outside of you want to be able to control your self-esteem. And so they get mad if you're beautiful and you have self-esteem and you say, hey, no matter what you think of me, I think that I'm beautiful. So even if you think I'm not that pretty or I'm a 6 out of 10, I'm a 5 out of 10, I still think I'm beautiful. People get mad because then they can no longer control your self-esteem. They can't take away your self-esteem because you are creating boundaries around it. Another reason people hate beautiful women is because they assume that you're stuck up or they assume that you think you're better than them. So these are the people who say things like, oh, you probably get told you're pretty all the time, and then they roll their eyes. Or these are the people that get mad and say, oh, of course you wanted to date her. Of course she's your type. You always go for these tall women with the big boobs, and then they roll their eyes. You know, these are the people who get mad because they think that you think you're better than them, when in reality, they actually think you're better than them. So that's why they're really mad, but they won't admit that. So they'll try to convince you that you have some sort of superiority complex, or that because you're beautiful, you must think you're just better than everybody else. And, you know, you're just constantly looking down your nose at everyone else. That sort of mindset tends to come from a person who has never experienced being beautiful or thinking that they're beautiful. And I'm not trying to say that in a mean way, but I mean anybody who actually is pretty or who thinks that they are pretty, generally speaking, they're not just out here looking down on others 24/7 and just, oh my God, I'm just so much prettier than everybody else. Oh, this is so great, just being prettier than you. No. But one of the reasons people hate beautiful women, though, is because they assume that you do think you're better than them. And that's because they don't understand what it's like to be beautiful or to feel beautiful. But for some people, they don't want to do that. So they'd rather just stereotype you as being stuck up. And that's why they hate you. It's because they assume that you think you're better than them. Some people will even say it. You're stuck up. You think you're better. You're bougie. You're snobby. You're conceited. And then if you are actually a nice person, oh no, you're fake. You're a narcissist. That's another one I hear a lot of people saying about pretty women. You're a narcissist. You're so self-centered. Oh my God, you have such a big ego. Oh, your head is in the clouds. Oh, you've got such a big head. You know those people that say, don't compliment her. She's going to have a big head. And it's like, wait, why don't you want people to compliment me? That's weird. I've never policed somebody else being complimented. I've noticed that some people are really bothered if you think you're pretty. You're only allowed to be pretty if you think you're ugly, which doesn't even make sense. So it's like, okay, you want this girl to be pretty and then sleep with you, but then also think she's ugly. And then you don't want her to sleep with other men because that means she's a hoe. And it's like, there are double standards all over the place when it comes to beauty. But one thing that you can do to maintain your beauty pedestal is to make sure that you find yourself beautiful in your own eyes. Because that way, what other people think of you, it has no bearing on your reality. It doesn't have the power to destroy your self-image. So that puts the power back in your hands. And then that power can't be taken away by others. Because think about it. If somebody says you're ugly, it's like, okay, ugly to who? I don't base my ugliness or prettiness solely on who finds me pretty or who finds me ugly. No, I get to decide how pretty or how ugly I find myself. I get to decide what type of beauty I want to have. I get to decide if I want to be super skinny, if I want to wear a push-up bra, if I want to wear makeup, no makeup. And so one of the things that you can do as a woman is just taking the power back and saying, no, I am in charge of my self-esteem and self-image. Hence why they both start with the term self. But I've noticed a lot of people, they want to be the gatekeeper of your self-esteem. And so that's why they get upset if you're beautiful and you know you're beautiful, or if you act like you're beautiful, they'll say, you think you're cute. Oh, you think you're all that. And it's like, what the fuck am I supposed to think? Am I supposed to think I'm not shit? Am I supposed to think I'm ugly? Like, what do you think of yourself? That's the first question I ask in my mind. Whenever somebody says, she thinks she's cute, she thinks she's all that, I'm thinking, well, what do you think of yourself? Do you think you're just basic and like you just go in with the crowd, you're a plain Jane, you're just basic as fuck? Another reason why people hate beautiful women is because they want you to be dependent on them. And so if you are beautiful and you know it, then your self-esteem is no longer dependent on them. Your confidence is no longer dependent on the people around you. And so you're taking away their power. And this is also why some people won't compliment you, like they go out of their way to not compliment you, or they go out of their way to nitpick you because they're hoping that your self-esteem and self-image is externally focused. They're hoping that, hey, if I don't compliment her, okay, then maybe it'll make her self-esteem go down. Okay, yeah, then she's not going to think she's pretty because I'm not going to compliment her. Have you ever thought about why people hate it when you take selfies? Well, it's because people get mad at a woman knowing that she's beautiful and wanting to show that beauty off, whether it's on a selfie, whether it's on social media, whether it's by wearing makeup or something like that. Those are all different methods of showing off your beauty. Wearing a cute outfit that shows off your body shape, or, styling your hair, or getting bangs that frame your face. Those are all very small ways of showing off your beauty, and that's why people get mad. That's a part of why people hate it, because then they're like, dang it, she knows that she has a pretty face, because look at how she did her hair today. Look at how she did that high bun, and she's got the curls hanging down on the side. Oh, fuck that bitch. She just thinks she's cute. Another reason that people hate beautiful women is because of hypergamy. So a lot of guys think that if a woman believes she's beautiful, that, that woman's going to be hypergamous, or she'll want a guy with more money. So the guys who have low status, maybe they're broke as fuck or something, they don't want you to be beautiful and know you're beautiful, because then they're going to think, oh, you're going to upgrade on me. And same thing goes with women not wanting to be around a beautiful woman or hating beautiful women, is because they feel like that beautiful woman has a better chance at getting money, or has a better chance at getting status, or getting the type of life she wants. And so people get mad because they're jealous of the lifestyle that they think comes with beauty. Another reason people hate beautiful women is because they know that if you are beautiful, that you have probably been validated by either men or other women, or I don't know, the media. And so people get mad because they're jealous of the amount of validation you have received for your beauty. They're mad that you got 5 compliments and she only got 4 compliments. They're mad because you look like Beyonce and they don't look like Beyonce. They're mad because you're not relying on them specifically for validation. And so then they get pissed. Because, like I said, some people, they want to be the only source of your validation. They want to be the only source of your self esteem. Another reason people hate beautiful women is because of the standards that a lot of beautiful women have. I mean, think about it. If you've got a standard for yourself, for your fitness, you've got a standard for how you're going to take care of your hair, you've got a standard for how you want your skin to look, you've got a standard for how you want your nails and toes to look. How many other standards do you have in your life? So that's another reason people hate beautiful women, because maintaining your beauty or manifesting beauty, it's actually a way of showing the world outwardly, I have standards. And so this is why in the workplace, again, people get pissed off because they feel like, oh shit, if she's got standards just for something as simple as a hairstyle, she's probably got some career standards. She's probably got some self-esteem. She's probably got dating standards. She's probably going to try to get promoted faster than me. And this is why you get those vicious competitive women in the workplace who try to destroy you, because they associate beauty with having high standards internally. And most of the time it actually is true that if you are trying to maintain something as simple and as shallow as outer beauty, oh yeah, most of the time you do also have some internal standards for yourself and for your lifestyle as well. Another reason people hate beautiful women is because they don't want women to think they can do better than them, or they don't want you to think you're better than them. So once again, beauty is one of those triggers where people think, oh shit, she's prettier than me, or I think she's prettier than me, therefore she must think she's prettier than me. Meanwhile, you don't even think that. You'll just be minding your own business. You haven't even noticed that girl, but she's over here thinking about your beauty. She's over here comparing her beauty to yours and saying, oh, well, her teeth are straighter than mine, or, she's a little bit skinnier than me. Her hair is a little bit better looking than mine. And meanwhile, you're not even thinking that. But a lot of people, they hate beautiful women because they don't want you to think you're better than them, or they don't want you to think you can do better than them in terms of dating. But what do you ladies think? Have you ever been accused of any of these things? Have you ever experienced any of this stuff? Let me know what you think in the comment section, and I'll talk to you next time. Stay pretty, ladies.